firm of interfering with their devices without consentable, is facing more class action lawsuits after admitting it deliberately slows down old iPhone models. The firm said last week it slows down phones to extend their life and stop them from shutting down as batteries age and become less effective. The firm is now facing 8 lawsuits filed in various federal courts in the week since the company opened up about the year-old software change. Some customers are unhappy the company has been less than transparent about the performance throttling feature, which they see as a ploy to drive sales of new handsets. All the lawsuits, filed in U.S. district courts in California, New York and Illinois, seek class action to represent potentially millions of iPhone owners nationwide. A similar case was lodged in an Israeli court on Monday, the newspaper Haaretz reported. One of the lawsuits, filed Thursday in San Francisco, said that the battery's inability to handle the demand created by processor speeds without the software patch was a defect. Rather than curing the battery defect by providing a free battery replacement for all affected iPhones, Apple sought to mask the battery defect, according to the complaint. The plaintiff in that case is represented by attorney Jeffrey Fazio, who represented plaintiffs in a $53 million settlement with Apple in 2013 over its handling of iPhone warranty claims. The problem now seen is that users over the last year could have blamed an aging computer processor for app crashes and sluggish performance, and chose to buy a new phone, when the true cause may have been a weak battery that could have been replaced for a fraction of the cost, some of the lawsuits state. If it turns out that consumers would have replaced their battery instead of buying new iPhones had they known the true nature of Apple's upgrades, you might start to have a better case for some sort of misrepresentation or fraud, said Rory Van New, a Boston University professor specializing in consumer technology law. But Chris Hufnagel, faculty director for the Berkeley Center for Law and Technology, said in an email that Apple may not have done wrong. We still haven't come to consumer protection norms around aging products, Hufnagel said. It often saves the time, money, and energy of everyone involved to bring cases together into one class action lawsuit, rather than filing individual cases. In most cases, you will need to submit a claim, either online or through the mail, to receive your portion of the settlement or judgment. If a class action has already been filed, you may receive a class action notice in the mail stating that your legal rights may be affected by a lawsuit. U.S.-style class action suits, known as group litigation, is becoming more popular, although these differ slightly. They are a way for individuals with similar complaints to join together against the wrongdoer and avoid pitfalls that can be associated with individuals having to make their own separate claim each time. Defendants in these types of claims are often large multinational companies, and the group collectively enjoys the resources to fight on an even playing field. Certain legal firms specialize in this area of the law and will work on your behalf to prosecute the company in question. Their application for the lawsuit states, plaintiffs and class members never consented to allow defendants to slow their iPhones. As a result of defendants' wrongful actions, plaintiffs and class members had their phones slowed down, and thereby it interfered with plaintiffs' and class members' use or possession of their iPhones. In a statement sent to Mail & Line, a spokesman for Apple said, "Our goal is to deliver the best experience for customers, which includes overall performance and prolonging the life of their devices." A consumer watchdog that evaluates electronic gadgets' performance sparked the outcry after it found that processing power of older models is limited once battery life begins to suffer. The drop in performance came to light in benchmark tests from Toronto-based firm Geekbench. It found that on certain versions of the Apple operating system, phones with older batteries achieved much lower performance scores. He found that an update issued to fix the sudden shutdown issue, when users found their iPhone 6 was turning off when its battery reached half charge, was to blame. This trend has been seen every year since Apple released the iPhone 3G in 2008. Explanations for the slowness range from Apple's iOS causing problems on older devices to the firm deliberately slowing down old phones to make people buy the new handsets. This latter explanation is known as planned, or built-in, obsolescence. This is the idea that manufacturers deliberately make their products in such a way that they become out of date sooner. The first is that it is a psychological phenomenon caused when people convince themselves their old phone is slow in comparison to the latest devices, and this could help them justify buying a new one. Interestingly, he discovered the term was unaffected by new releases from Samsung, but this may be due to the fact Android updates aren't rolled out at the same time like iOS ones are. While some airline readers said at the time they hadn't noticed a slowdown, others claimed Apple sabotages older phones through software updates. This is common knowledge, one reader wrote. If you want to keep your iPhone running at the same pace, do not do the software upgrade that comes out within 6 months of a new iPhone release. And O'Malanathan, a professor of economics at Harvard, described the results of the study as striking. For instance, the latest version of the Apple operating system, iOS, is always tailored to the newest device, and may therefore not work as efficiently on older models.